Hello everyone, it's time for Good Week Israel, where we'll give you ILTV's latest positive highlights. And get ready to smile because coming up, we visit Israel's largest desert zoo. High-tech and startup sector making several historic deals over the last few months. And we'll learn how to make the ultimate crowd pleaser, Yerushalmi Kugel. When you think of desert animals, you probably think of camels. But did you know that there are many animals in Israel that call the Negev Desert their home? ILTV went to check out Israel's largest desert zoo. Take a look.
There are many animals that inhabit Israel's most arid environments, and today we're here to meet some of those animals that call the Negev their home at Israel's largest desert zoo. Wow, now this looks less like the Negev and more like a tropical oasis with all these palm trees and lush green. Although the Negev is a notoriously dry, arid, and sandy place, it's inhabited by many species of animals who have no problem with the heat. The Negev Zoo takes in all kinds of wild and rescued animals, providing an excellent home for 150 species, most of which are native to Israel. So the concept here at the Negev Zoo is a bit different. It's not like every other zoo, right? Explain why.
Yeah, we're trying to change the exhibits from when they were built in the 80s and 90s, from small cages into large exhibits that imitate the natural habitat of the animals in the wild.
Well, I'm excited to go meet these animals, so let's do it. Let's go.
Here we have the zebras, ibex, oryx, and the ostriches.
Wow, is it possible to feed the animals here?
Of course, everyone that comes to the zoo gets to feed the animals. This is a male ibex. The males have this beard and the very curved horns. They have these notches, the males, and the females have smooth horns. The males fight each other and they push each other, so they need the notches in order to hold each other. And the females need to protect their young from predators such as wolves and leopards, so their horns are straight.
So you could distinguish the male and female really easily.
Yeah.
Okay, let's feed them. They look hungry.
Yeah.
They're all coming towards us. They know what's happening.
Snack right now. This is
Whoa!
Some vegetation.
You just grabbed that out of my hand. So they all live together here in harmony, I see.
Yeah, they're all
very friendly creatures.
They're all vegetarians. They don't eat other animals, so it's very easy for them to get along. You can see Atlas sharpening his horns. They use trees and branches in order to clean their horns and keep them sharp.
Wow, I thought he just got his horns stuck in the tree branch.
Yeah, a lot of times visitors see them playing with the horns and they think they get stuck somewhere. And
So tell us about this animal right here, the very long horns.
The very long horns belong to the oryx. They're Saharan oryx. They used to be distributed throughout the Saharan desert. Unfortunately, they went completely extinct in the wild due to human behavior. It was mostly hunting. They're very popular in zoos and they're very easy to reproduce, but there's no actual place to reintroduce them into. If you don't treat the problem in the wild that's killing the animals, you can't really reintroduce them.
So you mentioned earlier that a lot of the animals at the Negev Zoo are rescued or injured, and then you reintroduce them back into the wild. Here we have some examples of that.
Yeah, generally we receive animals from the authorities or when people find them when they're injured. We take care of them here in our clinic. The ones that are rehabilitated, we can reintroduce them back into the wild.
Among the animals calling this open-air pond home are 3 pelicans who've recovered from injuries, with some pretty interesting names.
We have Bibi, which is right-winged. He lost his left wing when he was shot during his migration between Africa and Europe.
So he only has one right wing?
One right wing. He's right-winged. He's got to be Bibi. Bougie, the opposition chairman, has only his left wing. He lost his right wing while he was migrating. And
Real creative names. So these pelicans are incapable of flying
correct.
because of their injuries, so that means they won't get reintroduced to the wild.
No, they've been here since the mid-90s. They've been here for a while. This is their home now. I'm gonna show you the butterfly exhibit now.
Wow, it's like a desert garden in here.
Small oasis, yeah.
Yeah. So how many different kinds of butterflies are surrounding us now?
Right now there are about 200 individuals here of 2 different species. Generally we have around 3 species of butterflies. These butterflies, the Naita dua in Hebrew, they're related to the monarch butterflies that you find in the US and in Mexico. So you want to see some caterpillars? This is actually the second stage of their development. After hatching from the eggs, the female would come and lay an egg on the specific plant that the caterpillars feed on, and then they eat and eat and eat and grow very, very large until they enter the pupal. You can see this guy over here, he's entering that stage. He's already large enough to go through that transition. They hang themselves behind a leaf and they start producing the pupil. And then after a couple of weeks in the pupil, the butterfly would emerge.
Wow. So they don't just grow wings, the entire nervous system, you said?
Yeah, exactly. They have antennas when they emerge as butterflies, and the digestion system changes completely.
Most know that being the startup nation, the Silicon Valley of the Middle East, is Israel's claim to fame. And the high-tech and startup sector making several historic deals over the last few months alone. But did you know that some of Israel's most successful high-tech endeavors have been in the Fintech industry? Hannah Rifkin with the details.
Everybody banks. It's a fact of the modern world, and Fintech, or financial technology, helps us manage our money more easily, quickly, and safely. Israeli fintech companies, though, apparently even more helpful. VC funding in Israeli fintech hitting a record $2.3 billion in just the first half of 2021, which is 28% higher than the full year total for 2020. And payment solutions specifically becoming the largest subsector of the Israeli industry. So, what are the businesses to watch? Well, of the many to choose from, companies like Rapid, Riskified, and Forder have raised hundreds of millions of dollars, are valued in the billions, and each presenting with its own edge. Rapid, for one, valued at $9 billion, the topmost private Israeli fintech company, and its technology becoming a basic necessity for sending and receiving payments worldwide. Companies like Melio and Papaya, meantime, each valued at over $1 billion, providing a boost to internal payroll and payment processes, making them cheaper and more efficient to run. Then, keeping things safe as can be, we have brands like Riskified and Forder, which combine Israel's 2 specialties, cyber and fintech, to focus on anti-fraud and secure payment solutions. Forder alone valued at over $3 billion. And finally, on a similar note, companies like Fireblocks and Curve, which was recently acquired by PayPal, providing secure platforms for crypto asset management. So whether trading in stocks, paying employees, or just transferring cash to a friend for dinner, Israeli fintech is likely to have your back. Hannah Rifkin, ILTV.
Moroccan cuisine is deeply embedded in Israeli food culture, and restaurants serving tasty Moroccan dishes can be found throughout the country. We went to check out restaurant Yakota for authentic Moroccan flavors. Check this out.
Eating out in Beersheba is always a delight because there's a little something for everyone to enjoy. But today we decided to come to restaurant Yakota to enjoy some North African cuisine. One of the great cuisines of the world, the food of Morocco is known for its flavorful combinations and rich aromatic spices. Wow, yummy stuff taking place here. Moroccan food reflects the country's unique and varied cultural tapestry, with each bite bursting with decadent flavor.
So Moroccans are very fond of hosting, and it's a culture well known for their hospitality.
The menu at Restaurant Yakota is split into two: the Moroccan slow-cooked dishes that take several hours to make, and the avant-garde dishes made by the restaurant owner himself, who goes by Beber.
My grandparents founded this restaurant in 1965. They came from Morocco with all their kids. Bebe was about 2 years old. He entered the restaurant when he was 6, and ever since he's a major part of the restaurant.
Not so long later, Beber became the king of the kitchen, and I even got a chance to have a look at how he prepares one of his signature dishes, the Moroccan chaime.
אנחנו נבשל מאחד מה-60 מנות שאנחנו מבשלים כל יום. החריימה המרוקני, השם הוא בכלל לא שם מרוקני, הוא שם טריפוליטאי.
The tomato-based sauce for the fish is simmered on a low fire for several hours and seasoned with Moroccan spices and flavorful root vegetables.
אוקיי, לוקחים את הטאג'ין, שמים אותו על האש.
The slow-cooked dishes are stewed in a tagine, a clay cooking pot which has become a traditional hallmark of every Moroccan home and restaurant.
כמובן, התהליך בישול הוא תהליך בישול איטי וארוך. לוקחים את הדג, שהוא כרגע דג דניז, שכמובן טרי, גוסברה, זה מאוד חשוב. וכמובן, אנחנו מכסים את הדג, נותנים לו להתבשל במשך רבע שעה.
Well, that's enough cooking for me. Now it's time to dine Moroccan style.
Most of this food is cooked all night, and especially the one in the clay pots. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Let's look under these clay pots. We're in for some fries.
Chaime, which you cooked with Beber earlier.
We made that together.
Yeah. So this is the lamb stew. It has onions and raisins. Here is the chicken with olives. Here we have the oxtail. And this is the veal stew with tomatoes.
Okay, and of course you can't forget about the couscous, right?
Right.
This is served in every Moroccan home. And another thing I know about Moroccan cuisine is the salads. Their love of salads. They could have they could dedicate a whole day for salad preparation.
Right.
Am I
So
right?
the salads here are very varied. We have here two different types of eggplant salads. Here the matbucha, it's a tomato salad. It's a bit piquant. This is artichokes with Chinese oranges. And here we have the oranges in special rose water. We have the Moroccan pepper.
אוקיי, אז כולם אפשר לאכול, אז בתיאבון.
I don't even know where to start. There's so much food on the table. A little from everything. Now, how long does something like this take to make? This is couscous from scratch.
הכל נעשה באותו יום.
Yeah.
Wow. This is the most tasty chicken I've ever had. It's so juicy. The atmosphere of Yakota is cozy and warm, a reflection of the tight bond the chefs and owners share with each other.
Yassi from kosher.com is back with the ultimate crowd pleaser, Yerushalmi Kugel. This classic won't just make everyone at your table happy, it'll make everyone on your block happy.
Today it's gonna be Yerushalmi Giggle. First thing, I don't want to forget, because I usually forget about this, I'm gonna grease the pan. I'm gonna set this aside. I have some water boiling up. Add some salt in there. I have a little bit of sugar over here, which is caramelizing already. Keep on mixing that. First thing I'm gonna do is I have to boil up my pasta. Once my pasta will be ready, I'm gonna add my caramelized sugar right into the pasta. I'm gonna add my spices. Then we'll add some eggs, mix it up. You'll have your Yerushalmi kugel in no time. And of course, don't forget, I'm gonna do this with Israeli style pickles. I like the little mini ones. You give one bite, no spritz. You get the big ones, you give a bite, and then spritz azoy, spritz azoy. I don't like that. I like the little mini ones like this. You know? These. This is what I like. Actually, you know what? Yeah. The sugar is brown. Caramelized. Into the pasta it goes. See what happens to the sugar? Get nice little, like, not icicles, but that makes that beautiful color for your Yerushalmi kugel. Caramelized sugar. Love little pieces of hard sugar all over the place. Don't worry about it. It's all gonna melt when you put it in the oven. And here I go. I'm gonna add my sugar, salt, and black pepper. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of black pepper. If you're in the restaurant business, you always want to add a little more. Maybe you'll sell a soda. You never know. It's another buck. Okay, let's go. Just in case you didn't notice, I didn't add my eggs yet. If I would add my eggs first and then add that oil and sugar, this will become scrambled eggs. We don't want that. We want a nice Yerushalmi kugel. So I added my sugar, my oil, my salt, my pepper. It's all mixed up. And now I'm gonna add the eggs. Now, always when I cook food, I always think, what does this bring me back to? What does this remind me of? What does your Yerushalmi kugel remind you of? This year reminds me of when I was a bucher in yeshiva, in the Mir, Shtibalach, Meir Shorim, Ruchale, Leale, Moishale, Yankele, Yerushalmi kugel, Chamutzim, pickles. I don't know, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm gonna cover this with foil for around 2 hours on 350. After that, I'm gonna take the foil off for around 20 minutes. Just to get it, you know, just a little bit of crispy on the corners. And I'll be ready to slice this up, serve this, and we're gonna have fun. Wow, it's hot. Careful. You ever been in Israel in the Shtibalach when they serve Yerushalmi kugel after davening on Shabbos? They have it in triangles. They have that whole contraption how they cut it. I don't even know. This is the closest thing I can do to copy this. And of course, pickle. You got to do a kiddush. You got to do this. It's the only way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If you want to crash my Shabbos meal in my house, this is what you're gonna get. I'll even pop a bottle of champagne for you. Yeah! Gufen. Hold on a second. I think this is selfie material. Right here, right here. Right here, right here. A selfie right here. Yeah, gotcha. Anyway, so we gotta make a bruch over here. I didn't taste it yet. I'll taste it together with you. Wow. Wow. There. Ha! It goes well with champagne. Never tried it before. Sounds good. L'chaim. Go check out kosher.com. You'll see the entire recipe for this delicious Yerushalmi kugel. You'll see so many other great recipes. See you next time.
Finally, before we go, it's time to learn some Hebrew with the latest of our limited weekly lessons from our friends at Ulpan O.
שלום, אני רוצה קפה, בבקשה. את רוצה קפוצ'ינו, אספרסו, קפה טורקי, קפוצ'ינו, אספרסו, קפה טורקי. אני רוצה אמריקני. בבקשה. אוקיי, עם חלב? עם חלב? לא, תודה. אבל עם הרבה סוכר. בבקשה.
And that's all for today's Good Week Israel. Hope we've helped you start your week with a smile. I'm Ladar Gavelazi. See you next week.